protesters on the streets as if these citizens were criminals. He, however, commended the protesters for conducting themselves in a mature and peaceful manner. Mr. Falana also condemned the explanation of the police that the tear gas shot was to prevent hoodlums and miscreants from hijacking the peaceful rallies, adding that there are lessons to take from the incident, which he describes as unfortunate. Meanwhile, the Police Force Public Relations Officer Frank Mba says no protester was arrested on June 12. In an interview, the police spokesman justified the use of tear gas on protesters who took to the streets to mark Democracy Day by voicing their grievances against the government of the day. The Nigerian army has urged remnants of the Boko Haram terrorists to surrender and embrace peace. The General Officer commanding 7th Division Nigerian Army, Brigadier General A.A. Eyitayo, made the call at a feast organized for journalists by the Army in Maiduguri. Eyitayo, who is also the Commander Sector 1, Operation Hadinkai, said the recent military onslaught against the insurgents dealt decisive blows on the terrorists, leaving their remnants in disarray. He noted that nobody, including the military, was happy over the bloodshed, hence the need for the remnants of the insurgents to leverage on the amnesty and repent their nefarious ways. This, he said, would avail insurgents opportunities to enjoy rehabilitation and acquire skills to enable them live a useful life in the society. President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawal, says the National Assembly will accept the rubber stamp tag as long as it is in the interest of Nigerians. Lawal stated this during a media parley while addressing editors, bureau chiefs and Senate correspondents on the 2-year anniversary of the 9th Assembly. He explained that those describing the National Assembly as rubber stamp do not understand the benefit that comes with a harmonious relationship between both arms of government.
And I'm proud to say that for the first time, as far as I can remember, in this Fourth Republic, there was 100% budget implementation of 2020 budget. Every aspect of the budget was implemented. What was happening before? Far less. Because the infighting will not even allow for the budget to be processed in time. In fact, the presentation will happen sometimes before we'll be going for a Christmas break, then maybe in November or something. And then everybody in Nigeria will say, National Assembly, the budget is with them and they're running away for holidays, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, we'll come back in January and it will take some time. So for me, I think we need to continue to talk to Nigerians on what we're achieving with this peaceful relationship that we have with the executive arm of government. We feel bad.
Responding to questions on Nigeria's massive debt profile, Lawan said the federal government is committed to infrastructure development, hence the reliance on foreign loans, as it has no intention of increasing taxes in an already devastated economy.
What do we do to raise funds? There are several ways. Are we going to raise taxes? Can we afford that in the current situation, to raise taxes for us to fund the building of our infrastructure? And it is a must that Nigeria must have infrastructure, roads, railways, dams, bridges, and many other things. So what are the options? Definitely one option is out. That option is not to do anything, because we can't afford not to construct roads. Nigerians have to have roads to drive. In fact, what we have is not the kind of infrastructure that will boost our economy. So we can't raise taxes. The option is to borrow.
Bearing his mind on the Twitter ban, the President of the Senate called on the federal government to dialogue with Twitter to resolve the issues between parties. Elsewhere, Bishop of the Anglican Church of Kaduna Archdiocese, Reverend Timothy Yahaya, has advised the federal government to hold talks with members of the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB as part of efforts to quell agitation by the group. He blamed the agitations on the marginalization and segregation of the Southeast people by the present administration of President Muhammadu Buhari and asked that they should be brought to a discussion table for the government to listen to their grievances and possibly resolve them for the interest of peace and stability of the country. While stating that IPOB has genuine reasons to agitate due to politics of imbalance against the Southeast, the cleric, however, noted that the situation must be handled with caution in order not to throw the country into crisis.
If in Igbo land today, they are giving Biafra, right in Igbo land, I know when you go to Imo State, the Okigwe man want to be the leader. The Olu man want to be the leader. So what are we talking about? So when you give us Biafra, the Olu man will say, I want Olu nation. If we have a problem, let's acknowledge we have a problem and solve the problem. The world is becoming global today. So this issue of we want to leave is because there are problems in the current state of Nigeria. If those problems disappear, everybody will want to fly the flag of Nigeria and carry the green passport and say, I am a Nigerian. Our leaders should hear this very clearly. Don't pretend there is a problem in Nigeria. A problem of marginalization, a problem of oppression, a problem of segregation, a problem of religious difference is a reality. People don't think like Nigerians first. They think the region they come from, they think their ethnic difference, they think by their action and their body language. So we should tell ourselves the truth. Secessionists are calling for cessation because there is injustice at the center. But when everybody is happy.
That was the voice of the Bishop of Anglican Church of Kaduna, Reverend Timothy Yahaya there. Still on the news, Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki has called for legislation as well as increased collaboration among global stakeholders to prevent, prohibit and eradicate child labor in its entirety. Governor Obaseki made the call in commemoration of the 2021 World Day Against Child Labor with the theme Act Now, End Child Labor, marked every June 12 by the International Labour Organization and observed across the globe. The governor noted that there was an urgent need for stakeholders to scale up efforts in the global fight against child labor to save the 9 million additional children at risk of being pushed into child labor by the end of 2022 as a result of the coronavirus pandemic. Obaseki said his government has strengthened institutions in the state to enforce the child rights law and ensure that children were protected from abuses, especially child labor, which robbed them of their childhood and deprived them of the opportunity to live to their fullest. The governor assured that reforms and policies being implemented in the state's basic education sector were meant to encourage parents to send their children to school. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAM, has called on applicants who have been cleared to complete their registration for the 2021 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination UTME by Tuesday. JAM's head of media, Dr. Fabian Benjamin, made the call on behalf of the examination body in a statement. He noted that JAMB had extended the registration period by another 2 weeks up to May 29 after the period originally scheduled for the 2021-2022 UTME-DE registration lapsed on May 15th. The examination body spokesman explained that this was to accommodate candidates who, largely due to issues related to the newly introduced prerequisite of national identification number, could not register for the exam. The JAM spokesman informed the applicants that the identification number on each form given to candidates had been used to assign the candidates to their registration centers. According to him, only candidates who have secured their profile codes are expected to visit the centers. Benjamin stated that the few who have not yet obtained their NIN or profile codes have been forwarded to the National Identity Management Commission and would be contacted as soon as they were cleared by the agency. It's still the news at 1 p.m. on Splash 105.5 FM. Still to come, Israel's new Prime Minister Naftali Bennett promises to unite the nation, and Denmark midfielder Christian Eriksen suffered heart attack. We'll take a short break now. We'll come back, we'll bring you details of these and other stories. Don't go away.
Ọkọ mi ni Àbíkẹ́. Gbogbo ìgbà ni mo mọ́ lóyún kí ọmọ ọwọ́ mi ó tó pé oṣù mẹ́fà. Kò rọrùn fún mi rárá o. Mo wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní yẹra fọ́kọ mi. Èyí wá fa ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìjà láàrin wa. Wọ́n mọ̀ ń pa ìfètòsọ́mọ bíbí o. Àwọn kan náà pàdé ọkọ mi ládùúgbò wa. Wọ́n wá ṣàlàyé fún wọn nípa rẹ̀. Kódà àwọn tún fún ọkọ mi ní ìwé pélébé kan. Ìpè kí wọ́n mú lọ ilé ìwòsàn ìjọba tí ń bẹ ládùúgbò wa. Ọkọ mi sì ṣàlàyé fún mi. A yan ìfètòsọ́mọ bíbí aládàálò ti DMPASC látìgbà tí mo sì ti ń lò. Kò dà mí láàmú rárá. Àwọn akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ ìfètòsọ́mọ bíbí kọ́ mi bí èsè mọ gúnra mi ní abẹ́rẹ́ aládàálò ti DMPASC. Mo sì rí wípé ó rọrùn láti gún nítorí pé abẹ́rẹ́ ọ̀hún gan ó kéré gan ni. Inú mi dùn, ọkàn mi sì balẹ̀ pẹ̀lú abẹ́rẹ́ ìfètòsọ́mọ bíbí aládàálò DMPASC tí mò ń lò yìí. Ó ti ran èmi àtọkọ mi lọ́wọ́ láti dènà oyún àìròtẹ́lẹ̀. Wọ́n sì yẹra fọ́kọ mi mọ́.
Inú Àbíkẹ́ ń dùn nítorí ìfètòsọ́mọ bíbí aládàálò DMPASC tí ó yàn láàyò. Lọ sí ilé ìwòsàn tó súnmọ́ ọ láti lọ rí akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ elétò ìlera fún ìlànà ìfètòsọ́mọ bíbí tó wù ọ́. Ìkéde yìí wá láti iléeṣẹ́ ètò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ àti àjọ tó ń mójútó ìlera alábọ́dé ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Ìfètòsọ́mọ bíbí ìgbàlódé kò léwu ó sì fini lọ́kàn balẹ̀.
One passenger. Big aunty, come enter this bus.
Oga conductor, this kind cough na serious matter. You suppose go hospital.
Hospital care. If I carry this kind cough enter hospital now, those people go talk say na COVID-19 and they worry me.
Haba, doctors don talk am say different types of cough dey. Some na dry cough, but this your own na wet cough e be.
Big aunty, na God go bless you. I don tire for this my conductor and him cough wey no gree go. E fit even be tuberculosis.
Conductor, go check am o, make you dey sure because who no go, no go know.
Check that cough for tuberculosis.
Check am o, make you dey sure.
If cough don worry you pass 2 weeks, e fit be tuberculosis o. TB test and treatment na free. Just call the National TB Hotline for 3340 to get better informate of where you fit do the test. This message na from the Federal Ministry of Health with support from American people dem.
This is a message to fish farmers and processors. The Nigerian Stored Products Research Institute, NISPRI, has developed fish smoking kilns. These kilns can process large quantities of fish hygienically, quickly, and in a conducive environment. NISPRI's fish smoking kilns can be powered by charcoal, gas, or electricity. They eliminate the hard labor that is associated with using traditional fish smoking kilns. The fish comes out evenly dried in an attractive golden brown color and is of much improved quality. It is widely acceptable even in international markets. For further information on NISPRI smoking kilns, visit our website on www.nsbri.gov.ng or any of our offices across the country. NISPRI, improving food storage for a happier nation.
Thank you so much for staying with us here on the news at 1 p.m. on Splash 105.5 FM. Turning to the foreign scene now. Israel's new Prime Minister, Naftali Bennett, has vowed to unite the nation frayed by 4 elections in 2 years of political stalemate. He said his government would work for the sake of all the people, adding that the priorities would be reforms in education, health, and cutting red tape. The right-wing nationalists will lead an unprecedented coalition of parties backed by members of parliament in a vote on Sunday. He succeeds Benjamin Netanyahu, who was forced out of office after 12 years. Mr. Bennett, leader of the Yamina party, will be prime minister until September 2023 as part of a power-sharing deal. In London, most current coronavirus rules will remain in place for another 4 weeks after the planned 21 June unlocking. Senior ministers have signed off on the decision to delay lifting of all legal restrictions on social contact. That could mean capacity limits for sports, pubs and cinemas will remain and nightclubs would stay closed. Prime Minister Boris Johnson is due to confirm the delay later at a news conference. The extension will be put to a Commons vote this month and could trigger a sizable Conservative backbench rebellion. Still on the foreign scene, tens of thousands of people have joined protests in the Spanish capital Madrid against controversial plans to pardon jailed Catalan separatists. Leaders of Spain's right-wing parties joined the demonstration against the pardoning of 12 separatists behind a failed independence attempt in 2017. Protesters accused the socialite-led Spanish government of using the plan to shore up its political support. But the government says the pardons will help calm tensions over Catalonia. The semi-autonomous region's drive for independence plunged Spain into its biggest political crisis in 40 years in 2017. 9 Catalan separatist leaders were found guilty of sedition in 2019, linked to their role in an illegal independence referendum. Another 3 were found guilty of disobedience, but not jailed. And now to sports. Christian Eriksen suffered a cardiac arrest when he collapsed in Denmark's Euro 2020 match against Finland, said Danish team doctor Morten Bolsen. Earlier, officials said the midfielder was stable in hospital and had sent his greetings to his national teammates. Eriksen collapsed shortly before halftime in Denmark's opening Euro 2020 game against Finland on Saturday. The 29-year-old Inter Milan player had emergency medical treatment on the pitch before being taken to hospital. Head coach Kasper Humland said Eriksen told him he did not remember much from Saturday's collapse. And the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations AFCON qualifying fixture between Sierra Leone and Benin will be played today in Conakry, Guinea. The fixture is part of March Day 6 fixtures of the AFCON qualifiers initially scheduled for March 2021. A disagreement over the players found to have tested positive for COVID-19 prevented the match from going on. And just before we go, here's a quick recap of the major headlines. Femi Falana has asked police to apologize to protesters who were arrested on June 12. JAMB has urged applicants to complete UTME registration by Tuesday. On the foreign scene, we told you that Israel's new Prime Minister, Naftali Bennett, has promised to unite the nation. And in sports, Denmark midfielder Christian Eriksen suffered cardiac arrest. For more details on the news, you can visit our website on www.splashfm1055.com. Now you can download Splash FM mobile app on iOS, BlackBerry World, and Google Play Store to listen live, get news updates, and opinion poll. You can also report an event live to us through the iReport feature. To download, simply go to any of the stores mentioned and search for Splash FM 105.5 and then click to download. We've now come to the end of the news on Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station, and the best radio station in the southwest of the country. The news editor is Tunde Olawuwo, assisted by Abidemi Kajogbola. I am Charity Jerome. Good afternoon. Thank you for listening.
Quick, Charger 240.
Hot news, cool vibes, sports, and more on the Integrity Station. We educate, that's why we are respected. We inform, that's why we are loved. More music, we are the best. The Integrity Station. Splash, splash, splash.
105.5.